think it says 5:30 now. It is 5:30 on April 10th, 2025. I'm going to call this regular meeting of the Morton County Commission to order. Our first item of business will be the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I will call the roll of commissioners. Commissioner Zachmeyer.
Yes.
Commissioner Buckley.
Yes.
Commissioner Tokash.
Present.
Commissioner Morrell. Here. And myself, Commissioner Boehm. All 5 commissioners are present. I also have Auditor Roan at the desk up here and State's Attorney copy in the back. First item will be the approval of the agenda.
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve the agenda as presented.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the agenda as presented. Is there any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Next, we have the approval of the minutes from the previous meeting on March 25th, 2025.
Mr. Chairman, I move we approve the minutes for Morton County Commission meeting March 25th, 2025.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to approve the minutes from the regular commission meeting on March 25th, 2025. Is there any other discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. I had bills this month and spent this afternoon going through there. I had a couple questions that were answered on some phone calls, but everything looks in order. So I would, at this time, move that we approve the bills payroll.
I'll second it, Mr. Chairman.
All right, it's been moved and seconded to approve the bills and payroll. Is there any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? Seeing none, we'll do a roll call vote. Commissioner Buckley?
Yes.
Commissioner Tokash?
Yes.
Commissioner Morrell?
Yes.
Commissioner Zachmeyer?
Yes.
And myself is yes, motion carries. All right, we will move into our regular agenda. First up, we have Nicole Freilich from North Dakota Cares.
All right, good evening, and thank you for the opportunity to speak today. I'm Nikki Freilich. I'm a U.S. Army veteran, a lifelong Morton County resident, and I currently serve as the North Dakota Military Outreach Specialist, where I help military veterans, service members, families, finding information, resources, and benefits that they are in need of. I also do military culture training for North Dakota Cares. I'm here to ask for your support in making Morton County an official North Dakota Cares community. There are an estimated 2,110 veterans, not counting their dependents, in Morton County, according to the North Dakota Department of Veteran Affairs. There are several more members of the Guard and Reserve with their own dependents. Before I left work today, I did a quick look on our database, and I found that there is approximately 160 guardsmen that live in Morton County. North Dakota Cares is a coalition dedicated to strengthening an accessible, seamless network of support for service members, veterans, families, and survivors. Established by Jack Dalrymple through executive order in 2015, the coalition is comprised of over 40 military and civilian professionals who collaborate to address barriers and gaps in behavioral health services for service members, veterans, families, and survivors. North Dakota Cares is a statewide initiative created to support the behavioral health and overall well-being of those that served and those that stood beside them. By becoming a North Dakota Cares community, we formally recognize the importance of these individuals and commit to working together to improve the access of care and support systems. By joining as a community stakeholder, Morton County would be an extension of the North Dakota Cares mission. Now, I have handed out the community tool guide, or the toolkit, and you'll see on that there are four recommendation or requirements that communities are encouraged to meet. You'll see number 3, we go above and beyond, in my opinion. We have of course, in Mandan, we have the Independence Day Parade. We have music in the park, and then we have several cities throughout Morton County that do fantastic jobs on Veterans Day events, such as Hebron, who has done a Veterans Day ceremony for several years. Now, I know Mitch Earhart has worked tirelessly on supporting our veterans in our county and does a fantastic job. I know I keep him busy with a lot of referrals to him. But he also helps with North Dakota Cares events. There's one that is coming up on April 23rd that is Understanding Veterans and Military for Community Providers. That is part of the military culture training that North Dakota Cares will provide. Now, veterans bring leadership, resilience, and a deep sense of duty to the community that they call home. When we honor their commitment, and we strengthen the fabric of our communities. This initiative doesn't require funding or any major policy changes. It's about raising awareness, building stronger support systems, and partnering with North Dakota Cares to help our residents thrive. It's an opportunity for us to lead with compassion, unity, and pride. We have many veterans and families living in our county. By becoming a part of North Dakota Cares Network, it would show that our county values their sacrifices, not just in words, but in actions as well. So I respectfully ask you to consider passing a resolution of support and joining the growing list of North Dakota Cares communities standing up for our service members and their families. So we currently have five counties in North Dakota that are proud to call themselves North Dakota Cares communities. We have Dunn, McKenzie, Golden Valley, Pierce, and Sargent counties who call themselves North Dakota Cares communities. We also have over 50 cities and towns throughout North Dakota that are proud to call themselves North Dakota communities as well. With that, I'm happy to provide any more help and to help you coordinate the next steps. Is there any questions?
Commissioners have any questions for Nicole?
Mr. Chair, not so much a question, but more of a statement of support is, again, I'm a veteran, as we all know, but I do allow with veterans outreach in many facets to include suicide awareness, and my first involvement with North Dakota Cares was, almost 10 years ago. This is a tremendous resource that is out there. The biggest need is just letting the veterans know it's available and being able to tap into it. There's no specific requirements, no enrollments, nothing of that nature, just another pool of resources to help our veterans, specifically those that with behavioral health needs, to address and overcome their needs.
I failed to mention too, there's a booklet that I handed out to each of you. It is a data booklet with several different statistics about our military veterans in North Dakota. With that, there is something called the Governor's Challenge, and there are several agencies that partner, that have a partnership with this North Dakota, or with this Governor's Challenge. North Dakota Cares is the team lead on this, and it is really just focused on mental health, particularly suicide prevention.
Mr. Chair, one of the parameters, minimum requirements identified with the application form is identifying a steering committee of at least 3 people. So obviously we don't have to make that decision tonight, but just letting that be known. So if there's the listening public has an interest being part of that, definitely reach out.
basically our support allows them to use our name to garner more support through other entities and through whatever needs they might have.
Right.
So,
The successes of North Dakota Cares is really on its own network.
Right, thank you for your time.
Mr. Chairman, motion to approve the resolution of support for North Dakota Cares.
Second.
all right, it's been moved and seconded to approve the resolution of support for North Dakota Cares. Is there any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion carries. We'll get those signed to you. All right, next up, Mr. LaFleur.
All right, got a bunch of abatements for you tonight, but they're really grouped into two areas, homestead and veterans credits. So homestead credits is up first, so those are abatements 6760 through 6781, and I've got those grouped. There's 22 of them spread across there.
Mr. Chairman, move that we approve abatement 6760, 6761 for Morton County 2024.
Second.
Can
Do you want to split them
Chair,
up, or do you want to do them all
Can we do
together?
them all in,
Can we do them all in the package?
yeah, if you look
Yep.
at the next page, then,
Okay.
I mean, there's
Okay.
There's, yeah, down the bottom of the behind page,
Yep.
Paul, there's a, we can do them all at once.
Okay.
Because they're all the same.
I'll change my motion. Mr. Chairman, I would move to recommend approval for, or to approve the homestead abatement 6760, 6761, 6762 through 6765, 6766 through 6771, 6772 through 6774, 6775, 6676 through 6781, and as presented.
Second.
It has been moved to approve abatement 6760 all the way through 6781 for homestead credit, as stated. Is there any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries.
Okay, and then we did get a few veterans credits abatements this time, so those are 6782 through 6786. They are grouped, but there's only one abatement within each group.
Mr. Chairman, I would move to approve abatements for veterans credit, 6782 for Morton County, 6783 for Morton County 2024, 6784 for the City of Glen Ullin 2023, 6785 for the City of Glen Ullin 2024, and 6786 for mobile homes in 2025.
Is that last one a mobile home?
Yeah.
Yes,
All right, but it's still veterans credit.
yep.
Okay, just clarification, okay.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve abatement 6782 to 6786 as presented and stated. Is there any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries.
Okay,
Thank you, Don. Our emergency manager, Mr. Morton.
Good evening, Commissioners. I'm coming before you tonight to propose a temporary burn ban for Morton County due to the extreme dry conditions we're under right now, and also to ensure protection of life and property from wildfire. As you probably know, we've been in extremely dry to severe drought conditions for most of Morton County, dating back to at least October of last year, and that has been virtually unchanged. Additionally, I was on a call today with Forest Service and National Weather Service and DES, as well as other emergency managers, and both the Forest Service and National Weather Service are predicting not having a green up until at least 4 weeks from now. So, and that's obviously dependent on soil temperatures. Just to give you an example, I'm sure many of us have been following the news, but on March 10th, there was a 3,900 acre fire that was grass fire burned south of Glen Olin. Since January 1st, Morton County, wildfires have consumed 260 acres of wildland. Interestingly, the primary source has been open burning of garbage or garbage pits, however we want to word that. And I think from what fire chiefs are telling me across the county, I think what's happening is for example, maybe on one day they're allowed to burn under our restrictions, and then the next day, you know, we're in a high category or extreme category. So, you know, those pits are maybe not all the way out, and that's how these things are happening for a majority of the fires in Morton County. And then just yesterday, that 6,000 acre fire south of us here had 14 fire departments on that fire, including mutual aid from Hebron, which was quite a ride for them, but they did respond, as well as the North Dakota Forest Service. So for those reasons, and on advisement of the Morton County fire chiefs, we're looking at a temporary burn ban effective immediately if the commission approves, and it would be reevaluated or expire on June the 1st of this year. And like I said before, just because of the conditions that we have and that the chiefs are dealing with out there, our fire departments. So I will stand for any questions you may have regarding that.
Commissioners have any questions or a motion? I think we've all seen what's happening out there.
It's dry and hot winds.
Yep.
And no end in sight. Mr. Chair, I move that we approve the fire emergency and burn ban declaration as presented, protecting life, property, and resources within Morton County.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the temporary burn ban for Morton County. Is there any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Next, we have Natalie, our Planning and Zoning Director.
Good evening, Commissioners and Auditor Roan. Our first item is the Rosemary 3rd subdivision. This is in the northeast quarter of Section 8, Township 139 North, Range 82 West. This is located just north of Montes Rancheros on 139A, so Crown Butte Lake is that way. It's this property right here. The properties in that, these have been subdivided a couple of times in recent years, and then this is a request to divide this lot into 2 separate lots. Our future land use priority for this area does call for 1.5 to 5 acre residential. So it's in keeping with our priorities for the area. So it's kind of a flag shape. We were suggesting that they use this approach here, and then they'd have room to put in a driveway there. They are talking to the neighboring landowner to see if they can use this approach. They can get an access easement from the neighbor to do that, but then if at some point the county wants to minimize approaches, they would at least then still have access here, because this is an actual public right-of-way after the last subdivision. So this is just dividing this into 2 separate lots. Planning and Zoning Commission recommended approval, and I can take any questions.
Commissioners?
Mr. Chairman, this was pretty cut and dry at planning and zoning. So would move to approve the final plot of the short form subdivision known as Rosemary Third subdivision, as the subdivision conforms to the regulations established in Article 7 of the Morton County Land Use Code and conforms to the land use priorities established in the 2045 Comprehensive Plan.
Second.
All right, it's been moved and seconded to approve the final plat of the short form subdivision known as Rosemary's Third subdivision. Is there any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries.
So,
You're-
Mr. Chairman, we had an advertisement for first reading of a resolution, and I think, and that was set for 6 o'clock, and it seems to me, I guess I would suggest we could talk about the history of it. That doesn't have to be the reading, at 6. And whatever you want to do.
I don't know if commissioners want the history behind this one. We've all been through some of it. I think unless somebody wants something, we can just hold off and
Till 6.
we'll just do the reading at 6 and
Sounds good.
we'll let Auditor Rowan go through our board appointment.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Natalie. With that, until we get to that 6 o'clock, Auditor Rowan, we have a board appointment for the Morton County Lower Heart Water Resource District.
So there was somebody, I don't remember, somebody who's moving and has to get off the board. Andy, do you know who that is?
I do, and I'm sorry I forgot her name. But yeah, she's moving to...
Lucy.
Lucy is moving, and so they have to have another member.
So they need to fill her unexpired term, and we were fortunate to get applicant, the first, I think actually Bill Robinson maybe recruited him, but he's an engineer, so his resume is in your packet here. Zachary Ranasset. So this would be an unexpired term, expiring December 31st of 26.
Mr. Chair, move we appoint Zachary Ranasset to the Lower Heart Water Resource District for the position of an unexpired term to expire December 31, 2026.
Second.
And I didn't get the chance, but I had asked Belinda if he was informed that he would be on the agenda. He is traveling tonight and couldn't attend.
I've actually worked with Mr. Ranasset on the Man in Progress Organization Board and with the Man in Morton Community Fund Board.
Okay.
Both, and he's definitely very dedicated.
All right, it's been moved and seconded to approve Zachary Ranasset to the Morton County Lower Heart Water Resource District for a position unexpired term expired December 31st, 2026. Is there any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. We will let Zachary know he's on the board. Ray, we've got, the other on the agenda is the Morton County War Dead Memorial Committee update. We've got 6 minutes, according to my clock, before we hit 6 o'clock. You want
I
to
think
give us a little bit of an update? If we have to, we'll stop and do the reading and then finish up.
Indeed.
And we might even get far enough, too.
Possibly. So again, reiterating, on May 9th, we had the initial presentation from the architects about the proposed concepts of the Morton County War Dead Monument. And with that, this commission set up a separate committee. The committee's been working very diligently, and within the committee, we've set up 3 different subcommittees. So we have a fundraising subcommittee that developed a strategy for fundraising for the monument itself. Historical research subcommittee, coincidentally, the 2 members on that subcommittee happen to be here tonight, Commissioner Zach Meyer and Ms. Freilich over here as well. Historical research subcommittee, they actually been scouring records, trying to extract every eligible service member that would qualify to be rostered on this monument. And just to give you a reiteration of what their efforts have come into play, there was 127 existing names on our monument, one of which is actually listed twice for 2 different communities, but again, 127 existing names. This subcommittee has identified 35 additional service members that qualify to be rostered or be considered on this monument, and they're still digging a few more yet. Then we also had a parameters and criteria for rostering future names on the subcommittee. Again, their purpose was to develop actual criteria that is used for any future considerations basically from the names that are on there right now to infinity until the criteria changes. And it's actually with that, one of the items I like to bring forward for the commission to consider is in the last page of your packet is the criteria that was created by that subcommittee, adopted by the full committee, and brought forward to the Morton County Commission for ratification. So we would start using this criteria from this point forward to look at any names that would get added to. And to clarify, criteria 1, they have to have been a bona fide resident of Morton County for at least 30 days prior to the time of service within the United States Armed Forces. Basically, that qualifies them within North Dakota state law as far as residency, and that takes it back to the beginning of Morton County as an official county. Be enlisted or commissioned in any branch of the United States Armed Forces at the time of death. The cause of death must be directly contributed to military operations and or hostile engagement with or by a foreign adversary. Case in point, Commissioner Zach Meyer brought up a couple of examples during the committee meeting, USS Cole, the bombing of Beirut. Those are hostile activities. They're recognized by DOD, as stated in the next bullet. Hostile action, foreign adversary must be recognized by the U.S. Department of Defense. So if they meet those criteria, they are considered, it's not an automatic, they are still considered to be rostered on this Morton County War Dead Monument. One of the caveats, of course, is if it were to ever be contested, the decision of, and again, forecasting for the future, what I'd like to see, and we haven't quite got that far yet, but what I'd like to see is actually a committee established that would review these for the future. And we'll cross that bridge when the time comes. But in the event that it's ever contested, the family or the sponsoring entity can request to come to the Morton County Commission and be reconsidered. And the Morton County Commission retains the final right of whether or not to roster them on the wall. So with that, I'd like to make that as a motion, ask the commission to adopt.
Mr. Chairman, I'd second.
Okay, thank you. It's been moved and seconded to adopt, excuse me, adopt the War Dead Monument Committee parameters and criteria for rostering future names of Morton County War Dead. Is there any discussion?
Mr. Chairman, just a quick comment, to add that the county commission would have final say, and that was because you have that grieving family whose loved one died a little more, well, were they from Morton County or weren't they? And they appeal, so they have a right to appeal to the county commission, and the county commission can hear their case. That was why that was added.
I think that's good. Is there any other discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries.
Okay.
We'll continue with the rest of yours in a minute. It is right now 6 o'clock. And so we'll have Natalie just do the reading. This is not a public hearing. We're just doing the reading. There can be comments made to whoever throughout till we do the second reading, and then does it go to public comment before final approval yet?
Yeah, so I guess in reading our home rule charter, it actually doesn't say anything about public hearings, but
Don't
because
have
we've
to.
done them in the past, I think the idea, I mean, it's more so the publication is what we call out in the home rule charter. And so I advertised this already for April 10th and April 22nd, and I advertised April 22nd as a public hearing just because we tend to, yes.
At this meeting.
Yep, at county commission, but it did have a public hearing already at P&Z on March 26th.
It did, okay.
Yep.
Was there any comments at that one?
There were.
We don't need to go into, I was just curious.
There were some.
If there was some.
Yep,
Okay.
the mailing was sent out only to those who are in zone 1, you
Mhm.
know, and there's not that many, I think it's something like 18 landowners, so not a huge group.
Okay.
Yeah, so there were minimal comments.
Thank you.
Okay, so this is Resolution PZ 25-04, a resolution of the County of Morton, North Dakota to extend a moratorium on the construction of habitable structures within a portion of the probable inundation zone of the Harmon Lake Dam. Whereas North Dakota Century Code 11-3301 grants counties the power to regulate property for the purpose of promoting health, safety, morals, public convenience, general prosperity, and public welfare. Whereas North Dakota Century Code 11-3303 states that the object of the regulation of property includes the following purposes, among others, to protect and guide the development of non-urban areas, to provide for emergency management, and to lessen government expenditures. Whereas the Harmon Lake Dam construction permit 1092 issued by the North Dakota State Engineer to the Morton County Water Resource District, May 12, 2004, includes a condition number 8, which reads, "The dam has been classified as a medium hazard structure based on current conditions. It is possible that future residential development downstream of the dam could necessitate reclassification to a high hazard. If this occurs, Morton County Water Resource District shall be responsible for the cost of required reconstruction. In order to reduce the likelihood of the dam being reclassified in the future, it is recommended that residential development be restricted in the area indicated on the map provided in Attachment A. This map shows the area inundated by a freeboard design breach event of 0.5 probable precipitation. Whereas reclassification of the Harmon Lake Dam from medium hazard to high hazard would result in the Morton County Water Resource District being required to upgrade the Harmon Lake Dam, and that the cost of the upgrade would be in the tens of millions of dollars. Whereas the purpose of the original moratorium was to allow the North Dakota Department of Water Resources time to develop objective criteria for what actions or inactions on the part of a water resource district could result in the reclassification of a dam from medium hazard to high hazard. And whereas the North Dakota Department of Water Resources adopted a revised dam safety hazards policy document and a legacy dam policy document in 2024, whereas in light of the policy guidance provided by the state, additional time is needed to allow Morton County and the Morton County Water Resource District to work together to develop a comprehensive and permanent policy approach to address the question of habitable development within Zone 1 of the Harmon Lake Dam Breach Inundation Overlay District. Whereas a map of Zone 1 is kept on file at the Morton County Planning and Zoning Department in electronic format as an ArcGIS map shapefile, and that said map will be made available to the public via the Morton County website. Whereas a public hearing regarding an extension of the moratorium was held at a regular meeting of the Morton County Water Board and the Morton County Planning and Zoning Commission on March 26th, 2025, and the Morton County Commission held first and second readings of the proposed moratorium extension at their April 10th, 2025 and April 22nd, 2025 regular meetings. Now therefore be it resolved by the Board of Commissioners of Morton County, North Dakota, that the moratorium on the construction of all habitable structures, including but not limited to stick-built homes, modular homes, mobile homes, and structures with living quarters, is hereby extended on all lands within Zone 1 of the Harmon Lake Dam Breach Inundation Overlay District. Be it further resolved that the moratorium extension shall take effect upon final passage, adoption, recording, and publication, and that unless further extended or unless sooner terminated, this moratorium shall expire on April 30th, 2027. And that was the date recommended by Planning and Zoning Commission. If a different date is so desired, I can change that for the next reading.
Don't think there's anything specific would tie that date to, so.
Right, just extra time.
Commissioners have any comments or questions on the resolution at this point in time? We will see it again at the next meeting. No.
There was, Mr. Chairman, there was opposition to it at the,
Okay.
at the planning and zoning, and so hopefully that person will be at the hearing on the 22nd.
And I did speak to landowners who were at P&Z and, speaking that they, are not happy with the moratorium. We'll have to have a whole public process about what the policy is, but this is essentially just extending the moratorium so that we can develop a policy about how to treat development in that area. That's when the real work begins.
No. If we allow building, then we end up having the dam being reclassified if there's too much possible life loss below that dam.
Right, and that
It's just-
that threshold is any additional. That's been made very clear.
Yeah. It's zero,
0, yep,
is what we've been told, so.
yep.
And I think even you put in here tens of millions, that's a wild guess. I mean, I'm thinking low.
Yeah, well, so we did have, the water board has discussed it, and back in 2021, I think the estimate, engineers pulling numbers out of a hat, something like $20 million. We've had obviously a lot of inflation since then. It's also somewhere around $20 million to decommission it as well. So it's going to be big dollars either way.
No matter what you do.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
And the other side of that as well is, how do you put a value on a life that's lost because of a breach, and there's living quarters down there?
Yeah. That's our due diligence on our part.
Yep.
Yep.
Thank you, Natalie.
Thank you.
All right, Commissioner Morrell, we'll go back to,
Yeah, just adding 2 more items. One is the Morton County War Dead Monument Committee is meeting again this coming Monday. We're working very diligently with the architects on a final concept. Again, it's not a final design, it's just a final concept. But with that, I've had conversation with the architects, I've had conversation with the chairman. What I would like to do, and I know in accordance with Robert's Rules of Orders, it'll definitely allows this, is the committee, once the committee identifies a final concept, I'd like to take the concept out to public meetings. I want to reach not only the community of Mandan, but also communities of New Salem, Elmont, Hebron, Glen Flasher, St. Anthony, so we get their input as well, and then take that input back to the committee, if any, take that back to the committee so it can be solidified into any changes, adjustments, whatever that plan might come into play before we bring it to the commission.
and I did look too, that is allowable under Robert's rules to do public hearings before it comes to us. That's not a problem. And I actually think that's a good idea. Then we don't have to send it out, deal with any major changes if there happen to be some, and then have to go through the public hearing process again. Let's let the public put their input in, utilize it, and then turn around and then we can make a more informed decision at that time.
Sure. So that's my report, that's my update, and we continue to work.
So we don't really need to just a consensus agreement, I think, from the rest of the commissioners if we want to go to that public comment before it comes to commission. I don't believe we need a resolution there, or a, excuse me, a motion.
No.
So I see a head nod to this side of me, and
I think that's a better idea.
okay, I think we're all in agreement then to take that out that way. Once we get it flushed down to where you want with the committee, then we can move forward with public comment before it
Thank
comes
you.
to us. Okay? Anything else, Commissioner Merrill, on that? All right. Does anyone else have anything good for the order? Seeing
Motion
none?
we adjourn.
It's been moved to adjourn. Is all those in favor, say aye.
Don't have a
Aye.
second.
What?
Don't have a second.
I'll
Don't need
second.
one.
Oh.
Don't need one on an adjournment. All those opposed? Motion carries.